Well, we will say welcome back to 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse for now, but that's going to change down the road. Weekend was interesting. A lot of meetings, a lot of phone conversations, a lot of back and forth about what to do. And what came out of it is, okay, we will be having Grindhouse Resurrection number 3 printed. I will have back issues of Grindhouse Resurrection 1 and 2 reprinted. I will have an inventory of them. If Grindhouse Resurrection 3 does not break even, I will no longer even attempt to publish a magazine. It's that simple. Right now, these nice people at Fusebox.com have put together a website to me, and it's 42ndstreetpete.net. That's all it is. www.42ndstreetpete.net. Where you can read blogs, you can pick up the items that you were afraid to pick up because we didn't have a website you could order from. So everything I have in print, the 2 magazines, Whole Bag of Crazy, Two-Fisted Tales of Times Square, and Gunfighters of the Drunken Master can be bought off that page with no problem. And I usually ship the stuff the same day, so you'll get it. And that's the way it's going to be. I appreciate some people that reached out to me with some kind words and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not going to shut down the channel. I'm just getting a little disgusted with shit. As far as the dogs go, it is what it is. She's on anti-inflammatories. There seems to be a little improvement, but she's probably going to be on them for the rest of her life, so I got to figure that one out. But anyway, came up with something a little interesting, I thought. Paul Talbot, if you don't know who Paul Talbot is, he wrote the 2 books, Bronson is Loose and Bronson is Loose Again, and has been doing commentary on the Kino Lorber Bronson releases like Valachi Papers, Chatto's Land, Mr. Majestic, and others. So I got a hold of him the other day and I said, do you know when they're going to release Red Sun? And he says, that's not in the queue. He says the problem with that is that Warner Brothers owns the movie and it's only available on a DVD-R, burn on demand. Interestingly enough, so was another movie that came out around the same time called El Condor. And these were both released by National General. I believe that Warner Brothers was supposed to be backing Red Sun but pulled out and the French outfit backed it up. But anyway, for whatever reason, these 2 films you can't get on a Blu Ray. They haven't gotten the Blu Ray treatment, which is kind of fucking ridiculous when you think of it, because let's look at Red Sun, for instance. International cast: Bronson, Alan Delon, Ursula Andress, Drushu Mufun, and some spaghetti western regulars that you would notice sprinkled in there, like Anthony Dawson and Ricardo Palacios. And the other thing is, when this film was released to the grindhouses and drive-ins, it was edited down to, film's almost 2 hours. It was cut down, I think, a little over 90 minutes, and that goes for the VHS release on Video Gems. What they did was they clipped a lot of the violence because there was a lot of swordplay with Mufuni, and they also clipped 2 scenes that sort of developed his character. And the 2 scenes they clipped were when they wind up at the geisha house, or not the geisha house, the whorehouse, and he is given, he only has like 7 days. In case you haven't seen the film, I'll try to do a quick synopsis. Bronson and Delon rob a train, and Mufun and his buddy are samurais protecting this sword that's supposed to be given to the President of the United States. Obviously, Delon steals the sword, double-crosses Bronson, leaves him for dead, so now Mufuni's character only has 7 days to retrieve the sword and bring it back, or else he has to commit ritual hara-kiri. So reluctantly, Bronson takes him with it. But, Bronson wants the loot. He doesn't give a shit about the sword. So they know that Alan Delon's character, Ghosh, will come to this whorehouse where Christina, Ursula Andress, is his main squeeze. So they decide to stay there for a while. So pondering this whole thing, when Mufun tells Bronson that he only has so many days, Bronson suggests he makes the best of them. Well, there's a whole scene with him and the working girl that he goes upstairs with that's been trimmed. There's also a scene where they're riding where he's having a conversation with Ursula Andress about why he has to kill Gauche. And the other one is some of the fighting where he basically impales a few people on his sword, and the end thing where he's fighting a Comanche sword versus lance, and he runs the Comanche through, and you see the sword pop out the Comanche's back. That's cut. So the film is really a good film, and John Huston even said it's one of the top 3 westerns of all times in his estimation. But again, Time Warner or Warner Brothers bought National General and owned the film. Same thing happened with El Condor. And this is another, great cast. Lee Van Cleef, Jim Brown. There's 2 box office idols there. And the supporting cast of Chief Iron Eyes Cody, Patrick O'Neill, Elijah Cook Jr., and Mariana Hill. And this is a manic performance by Van Cleef, because from what I understand, Larry Cohen wrote the script, and Lee didn't want to go over to Spain to shoot this. And it was something about a toupee, and he said, Larry told him, you don't have to wear the toupee. So basically, he's sort of playing against type where he's this like crazed prospector desert rat character who's looking for gold. And Jim Brown wants to rob El Condor. The fortress is loaded with gold, overseen by Patrick O'Neill as a Mexican general. A lot of action, a lot of great stuff, but again, the damn films are held up by Warner Brothers. I bought the DVD-R because I really loved the film. As far as Red Sun, I've bought import DVDs that aren't even close to complete. So the problem I have here is, like, these films did huge business when they were released, and now Warner Brothers is just fucking sitting on them and not doing nothing with them. I say flip them to Kino and let Kino do their magic, and let Paul Talbot do the audio commentary on Red Sun. The interesting thing also about Red Sun is that both Bronson and Terusha Mifune served in the respective Air Forces. Of course, on either side, Bronson was in the U.S. Air Force, Mifune was in the Japanese Air Force. Mifune also did another film in '68 with Lee Marvin called Hell in the Pacific, where it was basically he was a survivor of something and Marvin was a survivor of something, and they were on an island still fighting World War II when they decided the only way they're going to get off is to work together and build a rift. So, these 2 movies are great, and I simply do not understand why, they're being sat on, because, Bronson still sells. Jim Brown, of course, still sells. Lee Van Cleef still sells. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these, they can't make $1 billion on it or something like that. Well, maybe flip it to some company who has a little bit more love for the film than you do, I would think. But, like I said, it's a shame, because Red Sun and El Condor are tremendous action films with tremendous casts and great directors and really good stuff. So maybe we should get a petition up of some sort. But anyway, those are 2 to look for, and hopefully somebody will come to their senses and put them out on Blu-ray. So that's all we got for today. Remember, www.42ndstreetpete.net. You can find all my stuff there. There's going to be some stuff up there from the magazine, and I'll be adding to it as soon as I have another sit-down with my friend Mark out there, because we're going to try to put some other stuff together. So until next time, thanks for subscribing, thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.